segment. Let's say, can you tell something about?
Absolutely. Well, thank you for sharing the awards. Thank you so much. I'm so honored. For me, the Hispanic Size conference that you're saying is what was also just as meaningful, because being a Latina in the United States, it means a lot to be a voice for Latinos and Hispanics and women. So that was they created a category of best travel creator. And again, I didn't even know this award existed. I didn't know this was a category. They just received so many uh, people that told them, I need to be this. And so that's how it happened. So when I find out about these awards and these nominations, I'm always so surprised, because I don't even know what's happening, and they're existing. But I'm so grateful, because Pietro, if it means anything, it means that my work is making a difference. My work is inspiring people. People are seeing what I'm doing, and that's all I want. I want to help people. I want to inspire people. I want to bring a voice to those who maybe don't feel seen and heard, and to really be a uniter. I mean, the main reason why I'm in travel since a young girl was because I saw the beauty of travel when I would go to Mexico. How travel can open your mind to what you may have thought about a culture or country, but you get to see it for yourself and experience it. And then you get to meet the locals and try the food and go visit their museums and the history. And then you become a more, I think, well-rounded person, more open-minded, and you understand that, yes, although we speak different languages and we may look different and sound different, we're all the human race, and we're all so beautiful, and we all have so much to contribute to this world. So I think that's one of the main reasons why I just dedicate my life to this, because that's what gives me life.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for sharing. Hi folks, hi friends, welcome back on Traveltainment Talk. Here is Pietro, and as I told you, we are with a special person, special guest today, Jeannette, Ceja,
It's
Jet
so
Set with Jeannette. Wow, it's really a great pleasure for me, an honor to have you as a guest today. I'm following you from long time, and I'm really appreciating your time. Buongiorno, benvenuta. I know you speak a little bit Italian.
Buongiorno, grazie mille. Sì, parlo un po' italiano e mi piace molto Italia.
Thank you, thank you. Actually, I am in Italy at the moment. You are in the US, around Beverly Hills area. You are in Los Angeles at the moment, so you already took your coffee, US coffee, and it's time for me to take my tea time. Let's say it's the time here in Europe. It's really pleasure for me. I'm very happy to have you. I'm following from sometimes through LinkedIn. It is an incredible, beautiful platform that really creating something special between the people. Folks, I know many people already know you from already. For just those people still don't know you, Jeanette is a really great travel journalist and travel host, travel advisor, and most of all, a global public speaker, moving around global, internationally, working alongside with the brand, communicating, sharing emotion, traveling all around the world. And today, virtually, we are traveling together. Thank you. Che bello.
Grazie, Pietro. It's equally as exciting for me. It's like you're taking me to Italy right now. Like, I wish I was in Italy right now, having coffee with you and having this conversation. But maybe one day we can.
Yes, thank you, thank you. Maybe one day, and as well the opportunity for having some contact as well over than the screen. Actually, why not? You are my guest anytime in Italy. There, Jeanette, usually we are here to discover more about our guest, as always, something more personal about your story. Can you share something with us about your story? Something people maybe they are interesting to know about you better.
Of course, I'm so happy to be here with you, Pietro, and your audience. Something interesting about me is people, when they see me, they ask me, "Where are you from?" Because they don't know. I've gotten everything from Brazil, Argentinian. I've gotten Italian actually once,
Why
India,
not? Yes.
from India. I've gotten, you know, Central America, Guatemalan. I mean, everywhere but Mexico. And so my family, my parents are from Mexico. So they came.
Wow, Mexico, beautiful place. Fantastic place. Io adoro Mexico, bellissimo.
Thank you, grazie. I love Mexico too, and Mexico is my other home. Sorry, Mexico is my other home. And yeah, so my parents came to the U.S. in the 80s, and then they started their family here. And I was born and raised in California, and then also 10 years in Nashville, Tennessee, which
Wow.
Tennessee is the home of Elvis Presley, as many people know.
Yeah, wow.
So yeah, and then after I graduated college, I studied abroad in Sicily, in Sicilia, Siracusa. I,
Wow, bellissimo.
I studied Italian, so parlo un po'. And then I moved back to California, and then worked in California for a few years. And then I forgot to mention, I lived in Australia for 6 months.
Wow, wow, fantastic, dear Jeanette.
My
Wow.
family was like, my mother said, "Don't you love us? Why do you want to move to the other side of the world?" I mean, Australia was literally like the furthest place I can move.
Wow, the first one, the first place.
The first
What always I thought, I mean, uh, as a traveler, always I thought maybe one day I want to go in Australia because, traveling those places for many years, and you think, I want to go, after some time, I want to go, want to see, I want to compare, something, because Australia is really far place, considering Europe or, this side of the world. To go to jump in Australia, something that you did in the beginning, actually.
I did it, and what happened was I actually got a job offer
Wow.
to. I got a contract to work in Australia for 6 months. So they had a special visa for Americans. If you're 18 to 30 years old, of course, this is a couple of
Yeah,
years.
yeah.
That you could do a 6-month contract with an Australian company. And so I got the job, and so I told my family bye. And I'll never forget the flight, Pietro, the flight from Los Angeles to Sydney, I believe it was Sydney, yeah, was like 16 hours direct, no stops to Sydney. It was the longest flight of probably, yeah, it was the longest flight of my life. But the girl who was sitting next to me, we're friends to this day because I talked to her for like 10 hours. And then she pretended to be asleep because she realized that I wasn't going to stop talking.
It's a great story, great fact, really. It's really interesting story.
So yeah, so I got to see and I got to go snorkeling at the Great Barrier Reef. So in Northeast Australia, where Cairns is, that's where I actually was working for 6 months, and I got to do a lot of snorkeling. I got to pet kangaroos. I didn't know they actually also sell kangaroo meat in the grocery stores. You can eat kangaroo meat at barbecues. I didn't know that, but yeah, it's just.
Fantastic. Thank you for sharing such a lovely, personal story. 16 hours, blah, 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 chaka, daga, 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 daga. I can imagine a person, but obviously, I mean, traveling, this means, freedom, energy, motivation for, thinking, to approaching something, going to approach something new.
New.
And
And
so I imagine the feeling, you know.
yeah, and alone. I went alone. I didn't know anybody
Wow.
in
Wow.
Australia. And I'm a woman, so that's another thing, because we as women sometimes we have the fear of the
Yeah,
physical.
very young. Actually, in that time, as per your story, so already. But actually, you are saying something that come, you know, quite early. There, my the question. No, one of the question. I mean, from what coming your great passion for travel and for tourism. I mean, now
Yeah,
just listening your story, it's much more clear. I mean, the beginning of something already in that time, your feeling, your wish, your will
right.
to open your you know heart.
Yeah, absolutely. And I actually have a really personal and beautiful story, and it has to do with Rome, Italy. So when I was about 10 or 12 years old, my grandmother, who she passed away, but
Whoa, so sorry.
she was so Catholic. Thank you. She was so Catholic. I don't know if Mexico, where there's also very Catholic, a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah.
So growing up, whenever I'd visit my grandmother in Mexico City, um, she would say, "Oh, Jeanette, what are you doing?" And I was a young girl. I'd be like, "Nothing, just playing." And she'd be like, "Sit down and pray the rosary with me." And so I would have to sit down and like her rosary, she would have a rosary in her pocket. She would have a rosary every, and then we'd have to sit down and say, Santa Maria, Madre de Dios. We'd have to say the rosary. So next time I was in Mexico City, my grandma said, "Hey, Jeanette, what are you doing?" I said, "Oh, I'm busy. I gotta go." 'Cause
I'm busy. I gotta go.
but one of her last trips was because she had dialysis. She had diabetes and she
Yeah.
had dialysis. My mother said, "Where do you want to go? I'm going to take you on a trip before, your health gets worse." And she said, "Mija, like, quiero ir al Vaticano. Like, I want to go to the Vatican," because she was like such a huge Catholic. And so my mother, raising us three kids on her own at the time and just single mom, my parents were divorced, she was able to get me, my grandmother, and my other two siblings, a trip to Europe. But we went to specifically the Vatican with my grandmother because that was her lifelong dream. And we got off the bus and you could see the Vatican in the distance. And I was like 12 years old. So I remember her getting off the bus. Her name was, I called her Mama Lulu because she was like a second mom. She got off the bus and got down on her knees and saw the Vatican and started to cry.
Wow, wow.
So powerful because I, as a young girl, realized the beauty of travel is I saw my grandmother's dream come true, and we just couldn't. Everybody was crying because that is the beauty of travel, is that it's the gift that that money, things can't buy. Like, I'll always remember that memory of my grandmother, right? And
Wow,
so
wow.
beautiful. Has to do with Rome, Italy. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
really, yeah. And I think ever since, like, I'm in my 30s now, but ever since,
No, no, I can't believe 20. You are in your 20. Come on.
thank you. I know. God bless you. So I'm in my 30s, but when I was in my 20s, I really traveled as much as I could. And I probably have traveled to 30 countries by myself.
Yeah,
And,
good.
and Italy
Fantastic.
was one of them. Australia was one of them. I went to Brazil for the World Cup, FIFA World Cup,
Beautiful Brazil.
by myself. Yes, I'm a huge football fan, by the way. Sports. I watch UEFA Champions League, Mexican leagues, all that. So yeah.
It's really beautiful Brazil as well. A gente fica muita saudade do Brasil. It's,
Oh,
yeah, con
great.
certeza. It's really beautiful place. So it's clear your passion, your enthusiasm, your motivation, and also your inspiration for what you are doing actually every day, the way you interact with the people. Ladies and gentlemen, you have to know that Jeanette Jet Set with Jeannette, actually your brand. We can go later a little bit in detail, but actually you created your own brand, uh, actually come from those experiences in travel, tourism, in communication, in broadcasting, studying, all that. You are working with the brand, and she, ladies and gentlemen, you have to know that she is a pluri-awarded young woman as per her activities. Actually, there is a many nomination. I have to read here those because travel host of the year by the World Women Summit, top 20 global women of excellence by U.S. Congressman Nikki Davis and the multi-ethnic task force, best travel creator nominee, Tekla Awards as well, part of the 10th annual something with the Hispanic segment. Let's say, can you tell something about?
Absolutely. Well, thank you for sharing the awards, which I'm so
Hey, it's
honored.
just I'm mentioning just a few. There is many more.
Thank you so much. I'm so honored. For me, the Hispanic Size conference that you're saying is what was also just as meaningful, because being a Latina in the United States, it means a lot to be a voice for Latinos and Hispanics and women. So that was they created a category of best travel creator. And again, I didn't even know this award existed. I didn't know this was a category. They just received so many uh, people that told them, I need to be this. And so that's how it happened. So when I find out about these awards and these nominations, I'm always so surprised because I don't even know what's happening, and they're existing. But I'm so grateful because, Pietro, if it means anything, it means that my work is making a difference. My work is inspiring people. People are seeing what I'm doing, and that's all I want. I want to help people. I want to inspire people. I want to bring a voice to those who maybe don't feel seen and heard, and to really be a uniter. I mean, the main reason why I'm in travel since a young girl was because I saw the beauty of travel when I would go to Mexico. How travel can open your mind to what you may have thought about a culture or country, but you get to see it for yourself and experience it. And then you get to meet the locals and try the food and go visit their museums and the history. And then you become a more, I think, well-rounded person, more open-minded, and you understand that, yes, although we speak different languages and we may look different and sound different, we're all the human race, and we're all so beautiful, and we all have so much to contribute to this world. So I think that's one of the main reasons why I just dedicate my life to this, because that's what gives me life.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for sharing. You say about inspiration. You're speaking about inspiration and inspire others. Of course, it's important. And personally, also, I got inspired by those messages you shared actually through the web. That's why I am here too. It's as a traveler, first as a traveler, and of course as a person that love the world of travel and tourism. So it's really important what you are saying, and thank you for speaking about local interaction. As you know, Traveltainment Talk, my podcast, focus actually is focusing on slow travel, slow tourism. So thank you, because I'm very happy to discuss with you about those topics, because this topic, sorry, because it's the main, something really crucial for as a traveler, in the way we come across those cultures, and try to bring back for us something really unique, special, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that that is the beauty of, for example, your podcast, that we're able to have this conversation, and I'm learning from you as well. And I think that love to learn about your journey and about Italy and about your history, because I think that everybody has a story.
Yeah.
Everybody has a story to tell. And I think that's why I also dedicated my profession as a journalist, because what we are is we are the messengers of information. We can be that bridge between different worlds. And I'm a very naturally curious person. So I'm always curious. And so a lot of the best stories that I've ever had or presented were because I went a little further. So, for example, if I'm in a hotel, and this happened in Florida, I was in a hotel. I was checking into my room, and one of the cleaning the assistants was there, and she was still cleaning the room, and she said, I'm sorry, and I'll leave right away." And I was like, "No, no, no, just stay. It's okay. How are you? Where are you from? What's your story?" And she was like, "You're talking to me? Of course I'm talking to you.
Yeah,
You're
beautiful, fantastic.
and you're a human being, and I don't care what you do like for work. This is you deserve, every respect, and you have a story. You know you're so that is the heart of what I do, is because I really think everyone matters, um and so this world is just full of people that matter. And so I
Yeah,
just want.
thank you also for sharing this story. I mean, we can travel anywhere, anytime, in any, even in our city, in our corner, small corner of the world. We can keep traveling, not stop. Actually, traveling in terms of discovery, anything related others, peoples, cultures. And this is something really special. Your example with in your hotel really makes sense, really. Yeah, it's fantastic. But also I wanna continue actually with your great nomination. Sorry, I'm here reading because many things about your travel. For example, the Women Economic Forum in Egypt, the Women in Travel Summit, the New York Travel Festival, Tourism in Romania Conference, Impact Travel Immersion Conference, the Women Economic Forum in Mexico, City Epic Mastermind Conference, Travel Talks. I mean, it's really, really honored for me to
You.
have you here today. It's really great experience in terms of touching those places and witnessing actually how they communicate, how they share talented people in their own country and
Yeah,
so on.
it's amazing. I mean, I think Egypt was the last international trip that I made, and that was last March or end of February, March. And that was right before it became, the global pandemic that we're in still currently. But Egypt was just such a beautiful, emotional experience for me. I mean, I had wanted to go since I was a young girl and fascinated with the ancient Egyptians and the pyramids. So the fact that I was invited to go speak at a conference that's about women and was in Cairo, I mean, it was literally like the dream come true.
Yeah.
And so I spoke about women and diversity, and there were hundreds and thousands of women at that conference. And then we got to go on a tour. And I remember, Pietro, I remember the moment that I had seen, we were on a small bus going to the pyramids of Giza. And I remember in the distance seeing the pyramids, and the tour guide was saying, like, "Oh, this is the plan, blah, blah, blah." And I just remember seeing the pyramids, and I just start crying, and I cried
Wow,
on the
wow.
bus because it was such an emotional experience. Because even in my experience, I had tried to go to Egypt many times, but things in life just happened, like out of my control, like people's health or situations. And so I couldn't go. But I think it's all about divine timing, because it wasn't my time to go. That was my time to go. So it was having the similar experience that my grandmother had when she saw the Vatican. She was full of emotions. So when I saw the pyramids and I was like, I'm going, I'm actually going, I just start crying. Um, and it was a very emotional, and the tour guide, funny enough, she stopped talking. She said, "Oh, Jeannette, are you okay? What's wrong? And I was like, I was like, no, keep going. This it's happy tears.
Don't
Just like
worry, keep going. Yeah,
I didn't want any attention. I was just having my own experience.
yeah.
And
I can understand you. I worked and lived in Egypt actually, let's say globally, 4 years, almost 4 years, seasonally. But there is some time that, there is some time that is your time actually to be in some place of the world and to have your own feeling. Who knows? You're crying because maybe in that precise moment, actually, it was something in your heart, that
as
coming in your mind from the heart, the mind, soul. It was a great mix of emotion, and of course also the area
yes, I mean,
providing something really special.
wow. I
You
like
know,
the just touching the getting to touch the pyramids and just
wow,
connect.
wow,
And I went inside. I went inside several two pyramids, and
wow, wow, wow.
having that experience was wow. The
It's
energy.
it's something really incredible if we just think how they lived in that time. These people, the the history of the world. In Italy we say la culla del mondo. It's really coming in your mind, and you get a vision. You have your vision there, and your inspiration. We come back
I
in the
feel
beginning of our conversation. But speaking about traveling, the way how people travel. I mean, what do you like the most? By car, by plane? Tell me something. I'm very curious. I mean, personally, I would love to travel in any way. Tell
same.
me.
Same. Well, I love a plane. I love being in the air. Personally, it's where I have the best time to think and to write and to my best ideas come when I'm in the air, actually. And I love when you're in the air, you're everywhere, but you're nowhere because you're constantly moving. So you're just, it's an amazing experience to be in the clouds. Yeah, the office is to have when you're you're flying so much like I used to, like now not as much, but in the future when your office is in the clouds and you're in the air, it's just so amazing. I love taking off. I love being in the air. I actually took two flight lessons already flying a small plane because I love flying so much. I actually want to get my own my private flight license, pilot license one.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Wow.
So anytime, like when I was in New York, I took a flight lesson with a pilot, and it was just me and him. And then he let me take over the plane for like 30 minutes, flying over New York.
Brrr.
Yes, it was fun. And in California too, I took a lesson. The instructor let me take over the plane. He put full trust in me. So
Wow. I can't imagine, but great feeling. I mean,
yeah, planes are the best. Now, boats and ships and cruises and all that, I like them and I do travel. However, I get seasick very easily. I'm very easily seasick. So being in the water for long, I get like, yeah, I get very seasick. So
I imagine, especially on the bridge, some corner of the bridge there. But obviously, we're talking about the sky, the sea. I mean,
yeah, no, for sure. But I'm like you. Anywhere and anyhow I can travel, I want to travel.
I'm so excited to chat with you because really I am traveling with you right now. We are traveling actually through the podcast here. We are through the internet, through the PC. We are traveling already. We did those destinations. But tell me, you already mentioning about some destinations, but there is your top 5, top 3, top 2. Can you share with us?
Yes. Okay.
Speaking about some destination of the world.
Yeah, I'll do top five. So top five. Uh, in no order. They're all my
Yeah,
favorites.
yeah. Don't worry.
I don't want to get, upset my friends all over the world. No, I'm just kidding. So I would say Cuba,
Wow, che rico.
Cuba, India, Egypt. I will say Italy and France.
Friends. Ah, bene, bene, bravo, bravo. Actually, there is I could guess maybe, but okay, each one of us is different. But
Really?
in some, in,
Yes.
I don't know, in some way, is a world trip, that give the chance, the opportunity to write some page of the book. You
Yeah.
can travel in different part of the world with different culture, environment, and attitude of the people, trying to mix your soul in
Yeah.
those destinations. And I mean, it's a specific destination we are talking about, especially India. No, India.
India was so spiritual. And again, it's funny, Pietro, how everything happened in my life. I'd wanted to go to India forever, for many, many years. I had even put a photo of the Taj Mahal on my wall. And I said, I want to go to India one day. Um, actually, I was speaking at a conference in Romania years ago, and I didn't know at the time, but there were two representatives from India in the audience listening to me speaking. And so after the conference, one of the guys from India said, I loved what you were saying. We'd love to have you in India one day. And I said, oh, absolutely. I'd love to go to India. And we exchanged business cards and just went our separate ways. But I didn't know this, but he had been following me on social
Okay, okay.
network. So 1 year later, he messaged me and he said, "Hey, Jeanette, there's a conference in India, and they're looking for an American, and I want to put you in the list." And I said, "Oh my gosh, I would love to." And so I had to submit all my work. They had a committee of like 20 that had to approve me in order for me to go. Long story short, they chose me, and then they flew me from LA to India for
Wow.
the conference. So kind of the same as Egypt. It happened many years later, but it happened even better than I could have imagined, because it was doing what I love and work, and being invited as a guest. And it was just so much better than I could have imagined.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So
No, especially because I come back in the beginning of our talk. Actually, uh, eventually it was great. You're transferring emotion, message, simply yourself. It was great that transmission on that time when they saw you, when they meet you. So this is the magic, actually, the magic. Moreover, that magic perhaps can born actually when you are yourself, actually, when you are simply yourself.
and I agree with that. And that's what, I always followed the passion. I always followed the purpose. I never followed the money. So for me, it was never about money or fame or any of that extrinsic qualities that look appealing. For me, it's always been purpose, passion. And if it wasn't aligned to what I wanted to do, I'd say no. And I turned down many things because it's just not who I
Yeah,
am.
yeah, sure.
Even at those times when people said, how could you turn that down, this, that, because it's not who I am. So when I was in the conference in Romania, I was giving my heart, doing what I love, giving all myself to them. And then that's what happened. That was the effect, that it had an impact.
Yeah.
And that 1 year later, happened to me to be in India, and then from India there. And same with Egypt. When I got invited to Egypt, it happened because I speak at, well, I've spoken at many, many, many conferences around the world, and public speaking is something that I've taken the craft very seriously. I mean, the best public speakers in the world make it look easy. They make it look like, wow, but because they put the time, the effort, the dedication into public speaking, which is a skill, which is something that, takes time to really understand. I mean, I had to take a year or 2 years of courses of public
Yeah.
speaking, really, and I had to rehearse every week in front of 40 people and write a speech. And I
Yeah.
had mentors who I had to rehearse with, but that's okay, because now I feel I feel so ready that if you were like, Jeanette, go speak now in front of millions of people, I'd be like, okay, I can, like,
But this is it's really such natural feeling, such natural message. Also, this last one, in the moment you are really passionate, motivate, and you believe actually what you are thinking, you are feeling, you believe that feeling, because also we have to talk about. I mean, people can believe in their dream. Sometime, we need to push also our believing, on that dream, in the
Yeah.
way to achieve it, because it's simple to I mean, it's not simple, but we can say, I believe my dream, I believe that, I believe this, but also deeply, we have to drive
Yes.
our mind, our belief, actually.
And I love how you say that, Pietro, because our mindset, so we have the skill set, right? What we're good at skills wise, whatever our skills are, but equally as important is our mindset.
Yeah.
What do we hear? What do we read? What books do we read? What podcasts do we listen to? What TV shows do we watch? Who are the people who we talk to, surround ourselves with? All of that affects our mindset. And then most importantly, what do we believe about ourselves? Because whatever we believe becomes our reality. So
Yes.
mindset work is so important. So I do, part of my morning routine is I do daily affirmations, which I say I am, and then I fill in the present tense of what I want to achieve. So for example, if I say I am doing a TED Talk, which is a goal that I want to do a TED Talk one day, or I am, speaking at the United Nations. This is a goal that I want to achieve that maybe hasn't happened yet, but I see it in my
Yeah.
mind. I believe it's possible. That is so important. So important. The mindset work, belief in oneself, because also a lot of the things that I've done, people told me I couldn't do it, or it's never been done before, or but you're a woman, like all these beliefs from
La la
other
la.
people that told me like I can't do it because of whatever.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I just nod my head and I just say thank you for your opinion, but I'm gonna, and so I keep doing it, and I just, that is the mindset that I have, that I'm gonna do it, regardless of what somebody tells me. Um, and I think that's what's gotten me to where I am today, because it's just like, regardless, I'm gonna do what I'm
Great. Great. Really great. And I can understand you perfectly. Actually, back sometime, uh, there was some, some dream. I had some dream. I wanted. I believed in that dream, and nightly vision
Mm,
start to happen in my mind, nightly basis. Every night that vision come more strong, more, and I can touch the vision. I can see it and happen.
yes,
One
yes,
day I wake up one day and happen something, and that dream, it became a reality for me. For a short time, something happened, something that made me more stronger, and delivering more believing in the same time, in the life, in the happening in the life, so I can understand you, and is emotional listening this
yes.
your story. Thank you for sharing as well.
No, I think
Actu-
that's just good to for everyone. Sorry, Pedro. It's just good that what you think and what you visualize. So you're visualizing what you wanted, the dream you wanted. So it begins with a thought, and then the belief that it's possible, and then the visualizing that it can happen. and then it manifests. So it's like you're planting the seeds of your dreams and your thoughts, and then one day it can become a reality. Like for you, I had a story in Amalfi Coast that happened. Like, so true story. I wanted to spend my 30th birthday in the Amalfi Coast, right? This is years ago. And so I had dreamed of the Amalfi Coast. I've seen photos and videos, and it seems so like dreamy. And I was working. Actually, I was working at Playboy at the time, and I was working, and I told, I had on my computer screen and my cell phone screen, I had a picture of the Amalfi Coast of Positano, and people would come by my office or they would see my cell phone. They said, "Oh, when did you go to Positano?" "No, I'm going. I'm going to spend my 30th birthday there." They said, "Oh, did you buy the ticket?" "No." "Do you have a hotel?" "No." Are you going with anyone?" "No." "How do you know?" I'm going. I don't know. I just know I'm going to be there. And so I took about 6 months, and then I just got a hotel. I'd never been there. I didn't know anybody. So I booked a hotel L'Ancora. And so it was a hotel in Positano. It looked nice, looked safe. And I bought a one-way ticket from LA to Naples, Napoli, and then I was going to take a car down to Positano. Long story short, I ended up, my family, my sister and my mom said they wanted to join me because they didn't want me to celebrate alone, you know?
Wow.
But for me, honestly, being alone was no big deal. So I was like,
Yeah.
whatever, like it didn't
No,
matter.
please, don't worry. Don't care, please.
All I wanted to do for my birthday was eat real Italian pizza, real pasta, and real Italian wine. That's all I wanted. And to be in Positano.
And
Okay?
so,
And so I started to make it happen. And, you know, I flew into Napoli and I got pizza there actually.
wow.
And on the drive to Positano, the driver, I asked him to play Italian music. He played Italian music. I was eating pizza. So get this, I get to the hotel Ancora. I check in. The bellboy in the hotel brings me down to my room because the rooms are below. And he's, you know, the room, oh my God, it looks amazing. Again, I never been there. He goes, "Let me go take you to the patio to see the balcony." And I was like, okay. So he opens the curtains to the balcony. It is the photo from my computer screen. It is the photo from my cell phone.
Wow.
When he opened the blinds to the balcony, I was like, and so I start crying. I started to cry just like I cried in Egypt, just like my grandma cried in Rome. And he didn't understand why I was crying. He didn't get. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. I promise. I'm just really happy.
again, don't worry. Take your time. I know. It's my stuff.
Yeah, I'm like, don't worry, don't pay attention. And so he realized I was having an emotional experience and just left. But that is like, I visualized it. I believed it. I thought about it. I put it out there in the universe. I put photos of Positano. People asked me, I told them I'm going, even if I didn't have anything in the works yet. I was like, I don't know, I'm going, I'm going to be there. So it's that belief, that visualization.
Yes, definitely.
And then it happened in Positano, like literally, like from the flowers on the balcony to the rooftop to, I think I was crying because I was so shocked too. I was like, oh my gosh.
Wow, fantastic. You know what? I'm telling you something related, your story.
Yeah.
Actually, I am a Napolitan boy. I was born in Naples. I am a Napolitan, actually. Yeah. I'm listening you. I wanted to jump in, but I want to go into the end. Actually, yeah, obviously, my journey starts from Naples, actually, where I was young there. I born in Naples and all my young time there. So, and I can understand you. I can understand you, of course, about all you said, actually, such immersion, cultural immersion. I wanted to ask about your perspective of travel, slow travel, and you are already answering. I mean, your story is the answer, the opportunity through our dream, through
Yeah.
our vision to live something really unique, authentic, in the way to bring back some memorable moment of our journey over than vacation time. Is some, what do you think about slow tourism, slow travel, and such opportunity to interact locally? Already you are expressing your feeling, just going more behind the scenes, because we can bring back when we after go to write something or to say something to the audience.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's even during this time, during the pandemic, and we were still in it. Um, March was going to be a year that I haven't traveled outside of the U.S., and it's the first of, I don't know, 20 years that it's never happened. But I will say that I have been able to visit and learn more about the United States, my backyard, my country. I've only been to 25 states of the 50 states here. So I have not, yeah, I have a lot of catching up to do. And also even California and Tennessee, who are both my home states, have so much beauty and nature. I mean, California alone, you have Yosemite, you have Sequoia National Park, you have with the trees, the redwood trees, you have snow in the mountains. I mean, Northern California, San Francisco, Berkeley, Oakland. Then you have Southern California, like Los Angeles, and you have San Diego, Palm Springs. So I will say that I have been able to do some slow local travel,
Yeah.
and to really just appreciate, I guess, my country that I've always been trying. Like,
Obviously, where you are located right now, really is a beautiful place, strategically, in terms of maintaining, keeping some fresh mind, and keeping to visioning things around.
yeah,
And in the same time, you come from in earlier time, already great travel in those destinations. In the beginning, we mentioned about Australia.
yeah,
As a traveler, usually people can, myself too, think to go in Australia after some time. Right now, already almost 25 years, I am traveling all over the
wow,
world and not yet in Australia. For some reason, I wanted to keep my weight, because always I was thought maybe I need to go there. But in the same time, also it's good to have already your idea of some far destination. Why all this speaking? Because I'm interested in your opinion about the remote destination. This
mm,
really far
yeah,
destination. I am a lover of remote travel, what do
yeah.
you think to meet such a far culture and discover new destination from the slow travel,
Yeah,
perspective?
I think it's amazing. Australia was probably the furthest now besides India that I've visited. And Australia has its own, culture and history. And I learned about the Aboriginals, right? And
Mm,
about them and about their culture and about their history, which is fascinating because, being here in the United States, we also, we're a new country, but we have so much history. Um, and we're very young, but we majorly focus on the U.S. history, not as much as other countries. So when I go to other countries, it's always amazing to learn about their history, their culture through them, through the locals, and through them because they will tell you probably what I won't learn here. For example, I can learn it there,
yeah, yeah,
and that, I think that applies to any country. Like that's why I want to go to all 196 countries because I want to learn about each country and I want to meet all the locals and I want to experience their culture, because I think it's so beautiful. And the fact that you're from Italy as well, which is one of my top favorite countries of all time.
Okay, yeah, sure,
It's a
sure.
beautiful, beautiful country. And I have to say, one of the best, you guys have the best cuisine, the best food um, ever had in my life.
Yeah, but thank you, thank you. By the way, anytime when I am in Italy, when I stay, if I stay in Italy, you are more than welcome. Let me know, of course. But you know what? It's true. Certain cuisine, food, product, obviously, but in the same time, you know, all these our Mediterranean countries, you know, from the whole history, they were populated by other small culture, people, population from other part of the world too, you know, so it's a great mix, a huge mix. Eventually come out those speciality in our country, in Italy, you know, maybe also because of that, you know.
Yeah, no.
If you think about the past, you know.
And recently, I did a 23andMe DNA test. And so I did a DNA test, and it was so interesting because I'm 56%, was it like Native American and Spanish and Mexican. And then the other percent is 44% is I have Africa, I have a Europe, I have a European, I have like 20%, I have South American, like just, and so they provide you a map of like where your ancestors and DNA matches are.
Wow, great.
It's global and it's beautiful. And then I found out that I have 1,500 relatives that they found through the DNA test, that I have 1,500 relatives, and so that I don't know, so I have like cousins of cousins of, it's just fascinating.
It's really fascinating, coming in our mind, your mind maybe, but you know, I really want to know. I want to know each one of them.
Yeah,
As
I know.
maybe eventually coming this question in your mind, I want to know each one of them now, and maybe coming a new research, you know, maybe
Yeah.
come.
And yeah, it's funny you say that because there was a thing called DNA travel. So where people take trips based on the DNA.
Exactly,
So,
exactly.
so maybe one day I can try. I think 1,500 is a lot, but I can try.
But you know, this in some way, now while we're talking about come up in my mind, you know, about twins, you know, they say each one of us, we have all over the world. I mean, eventually seven, you know, we are seven similar people. You know, it's the same story in some way, you know, the same fact, the same opportunity we can follow, you know, because if we start to investigate, you know, maybe. But you know, about this, I have a story actually. to, if you don't mind, I want to share a story about this point. Actually, there is a good friend of mine from my young age in Naples, by the way. And many years we didn't get each other, you know, but sometime happen, you know, and we get in touch each other. Say, Pietro, but you know, I went to vacation in Miami last month, but I saw you walking on the street. Pietro, you were in Miami? I say, no, actually, I was working involved abroad. No, I'm so sorry. It wasn't me, actually. I mean, just I remember all the time. I remember this story. You know, people
Yeah.
can see you or can follow some maybe their vision, maybe also, who knows? I mean, the wish to do things. Again, we come back in some point. Our deeply wish to, you know, looking forward for something and come via different things, come
Yeah.
to us via
Yeah.
different modality. We don't know.
We don't know.
We
And
don't
that's
know.
that is part of the beauty. And thank you for sharing that story. That's so
Yeah,
fun.
it's
Like, yeah,
yeah, it's really interesting. All this talk. I would love to talk with you for 1 hour, 2 hour more. I have just a couple of questions, if you don't mind. Obviously, one of my question was in my mind. Actually, I wanted to ask about something that created actually a strong impact on you, on your life. In some way, all what you are saying created huge impact on you,
yeah,
actually.
yeah, absolutely. I think that family and just even in me, it's just what I love about travel is that I get to learn and I get to grow as a person. And so even as a young girl, I think I've always known I was going to work in travel in some way, some form. And in communication, when I would read the newspapers to my family at dinner, I would read them the news like every night. And so for me, it's I just want to be a messenger of the beauty of this world. I want to unite people. I want to it's so much bigger than myself, right? It's so much beyond me. Like, and that's what keeps me going even during these difficult and uncertain times. I'm still in it because my heart is in it, and my purpose and my why is for humanity. I really want to unite humanity, and especially right now, we're all in this together, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
it's really rare happening that we're all on a global scale in the same place. We're going through the same thing. And in a way, though, I'm an optimist. We can find it as an opportunity to come together. That's what I think. And I think that's what's great that you're doing, your podcast is because you're finding ways to, share stories and to unite people. And if not otherwise, if the world were back in 2019 or 2018, we would be so busy, go, 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 office,
yeah,
office,
yeah,
that
yeah,
we
yeah.
didn't have the time to do this.
By the way, it's time to talk about Jet Set with Jeanette. It's time to talk about such a great channel actually of communication. Show me some. Oh, fantastic logo. I love it. I love it, your logo.
Thank you.
Really, I love it. You brought your end by your end?
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
it's a
Jet
post.
Set with Jeanette. It's clearly a huge strategy, huge branding, huge strategy to on this on these words. Let's say a couple of words together, mixed. You are really great on this. Bravo, bravo.
Yeah,
Jet
me.
Set with Jeanette, their friends. If you have time to surf through the net, please stop by Jet Set with Jeanette. When born, actually, the idea, and is a mix of, actually, it's your podcast too.
Right. So I started a podcast last year during the pandemic as well, and which I'd love to have you on as a guest as well. It really just grew as a way to keep the communication, keep the message, and to help our friends, abroad who are going through so much. Again, everyone has a story to share. So yeah, so I do the podcast. The Jet Set with Jeanette really took off about 3 years ago.
Yeah, fantastic. Earlier you said that something about the podcast or sharing stories. Actually, about me, it was a vision too. Also was a vision too. From a long time I wanted, to share to share myself. I wanted to share and to bring with me people as to come together and really providing opportunity to say hi, we are here, and we have to work together,
Yeah.
unite, for more than ever now. What do you think about the current global situation, COVID-19? I mean, I'm sure you faced in some way something. I hope not anymore. eventually we are going to facing something. But how you keep your mind strong, as a traveler, as I ask to anyone of my guests, how they keep strong their minds. In your case, in our case, about our travel mindset,
Yeah,
how you
it's
keep it.
for sure. It's I'm not gonna lie, during the beginning of the pandemic from March to May, I was very depressed. I never been through a pandemic and living alone in my apartment in Los Angeles. My parents, a 5-hour flight away. They have their own health issues that, not COVID, thank goodness, but they had all the health issues. Um, from March to May, I was very depressed. I was just crying a lot and just trying to process what was happening on a global scale, as well as in Los Angeles. Everything shut down. Like I know in
Yeah,
Italy.
yeah.
And then they had us on curfews for some time. And even just doing the daily things that I love to do, like go for a walk or jog to the beach, was limited because they closed the beaches as well at some point. And just being alone during that time was very, very difficult. However, I did reach out for help, friends, my friend who's a coach and a therapist, to really just try to cope with what was happening. So much was out of my control. I mean, literally nothing was in my control anymore. The world had stopped for the first time. The world had stopped traveling. Countries were closing their borders. Um, it was just so much going on, and of course the people's health, like you just turn on the news and American news for sure, and you would hear about all these deaths and cases, and you were afraid to go outside. So it was just a lot. And knock on wood, I have not gotten it. um, and knock on wood, nobody that I know has gotten COVID. But I've been very careful. I've gotten tested in Los Angeles, and just to be sure, and just having to be outside. So it's been an adjustment. It's
But
been a quite a emotional time. But what I keep to do to keep my mind strong is the daily routine: affirmations, meditation, yoga, walking in nature, um, doing things for me, and also visualizing the future, because I know that this is the current situation, but I know there will be a day where we will be all open again and our borders, where we will be safely traveling again. I know that day will happen. When, I have no idea how, I don't know, but I'm an optimist and I'm a visionary, so I see it in the future. So I'm also looking forward to that time. So that's what keeps me going.
so we can definitely we can share with our audience. Try to be positive and motivate yourself with those things surrounding yourself. Anything that make alive that things actually visioning something, bring your soul walking through the positivity. So I'm totally agree with you. Thank you for sharing this. Could be kind of advice for people, generally speaking, about the current situation. Moreover, can you share some travel tips or something similar for our audience, so in the way they will be ready when all will be possible? I mean,
Yeah, well, I think a lot of destinations and hotels, they're having lots of programs where you can buy now, book now, and travel later. So they'll have maybe some hotels have up to a year. So if you purchase a stay with them, you can go within the time frame of a year. So then that supports the hotel, but then you still can go. Maybe that's a way. You can do local travel, road trips for now to support your local economy,
great.
your country. So a lot of any of the travels I'm doing is local, to support local businesses, the restaurants for example, here have been having to shut down so many times, and some of them unfortunately have closed permanently because
Unfortunately, also here in Italy, many.
so sorry to hear. And that's why if you can take an place an order for takeout once a week for your family, you support the local restaurant, the local chefs, the local family owned businesses. That is one way that you can give back, and you could, you know, travel, maybe go take a road trip to another city, you know, spend some time there, some money there, help their economy, and you get a great experience, right? um, that's what a lot of people here in the States are doing. They're doing like road trips, they're doing staycations, they're staying in hotels in their own city to get an experience, and then also to help the hotel and help the economy. I think it all helps. So even if you're traveling locally, that is great. That's great for my soul, my spirit too, to go take a hike in nature, or
Yes.
you know, to go to the beach and just be in nature. To me, that is the ultimate, and I don't have to go too far. And I'm sure where you are and in Italy is full of gems, of full of
Yeah, there is many people can try find their way to place themselves in a close city area, you know, where they can enjoy with the green, with the trees, you know, all around. So yeah, where you are at the moment, really there is those space and area that helps a lot, sure.
yeah.
There, Jeanette, I'm very happy. I'm very happy to chat with you, to talk to you. And can you share your next program, your next adventure, your next journey, please?
Yes. So let's see.
Something you are going to prepare, because I'm sure you are preparing those
Yeah.
things there.
So in March, I'm going to be speaking at a women's conference, which is really exciting. Um, I'm
Wow.
I'm gonna in March. I'm gonna start recording new episodes of my podcast
Okay.
on
Woo.
going on. A lot of things still in the work
Yes.
right now. I'm starting to pitch my TV show again that I wrote, and I've had in me for 10 years. This TV show in my mind, in my heart, but now I really want to just do it for many reasons.
So we can say officially with the Travel Time Talk, we can say here today that you are going to focus on that. Great. Jeanette, thank you. Thank you very much for such a lovely talk, stories, anything you shared with us, with me today. It is actually very interesting, inspirational, obviously. And I would love to the end with you, as usually I'm doing with my podcast, with my guest. Actually, I have my own slogan, my own hashtag, always action with a passion. And I would love to say together, okay? 1, 2, 3, go. Always action with a passion. Yeah, yeah. In the way to share our positivity with the people watching through YouTube channel or listening through our podcast. Jeanette, I'm very thankful for your time. And thank you. Hope to see you one day in Europe, in Italy. Please, when you think to come in Italy, give a call and I will jump to take you in the airport and we go locally. We're gonna make a great, authentic immersion through the Italian territory. Are you agree? You okay?
Sì, sì, grazie mille. Thank you, Pietro. It's been likewise so great to talk to you and to be a guest on your show. It's been so fun and uplifting. So thank you.
Thank you. Bye. Ciao. Hola, nos vemos. Ciao, ciao. Stay tuned for next episode. Ciao.